What's going on, everybody? We are here today to recap Bills Dolphins. Such a good game. We are here with our favorite guest, Dan Mitchell. What's going on?
Dude, what's going on, boys? I was just talking backstage with Lando, and our boy Rich was saying, you know what? I hated that game. I needed time to process this. I didn't want to discuss this game. And then Lando and I were like, I don't know what you're talking about. We enjoyed every single second of that beatdown in Miami. Just kidding. I definitely appreciate you guys having me on. Super excited to unpack this win and, more importantly, understand exactly what is in the future for the Miami Dolphins, because sucks seeing Tua go down with yet another concussion. Very interested to see how they get over this massive hurdle for the beginning of the 2024 season, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a big hurdle, and we're definitely going to have to talk about it because I have not mentioned anything since the day after the game. We talked about if Tua should retire. Obviously, I didn't think he should. It depends on, obviously, his health, but he ended up saying he's not going to. Let's just jump into the game. Did you expect it to turn out how it did, or did you expect a little closer of a game?
So to be completely honest with you, man, I did anticipate that you guys were going to at least make it close toward the beginning, because I looked at the injury report, and particularly with Taron Johnson being out, like, he was our best corner in general. I mean, obviously Benford and Rasul Douglas ended up stepping up. So I thought that there was so many different opportunities where the Dolphins could make this a close game, because there was a lot of areas in the field that you could attack. We had Cam Lewis starting slot corner. And then we end up losing Terrell Bernard within like the first 3 to 4 like plays of the game by itself. But what I didn't put into consideration was the fact that Von Miller somehow ended up reviving his career out of nowhere. This offseason, I was saying, dude, if this guy can just give me 10 plus pressures, 4 sacks this year, I'm going to be completely fine with it. And now I look at this aging defensive end who already has 10 pressures on the season between the first 2 weeks, really ended up opening up quite a bit of opportunities for the Bills. So I was never so much concerned about this Buffalo Bills offense, because I knew that was going to be the game plan. I knew that it was going to be a James Cook game. Didn't anticipate this to be a Josh Hero ball sort of situation, because we needed to take advantage of the various question marks on y'all's run defense. But dude, I mean, this defense by itself really, really surprised me. And I know from Bills fans' perspective, we were so happy to see it, because all offseason we were hearing how much of these massive departures with Poyer, with Hyde, with Trey White being gone, with all of these things. And it was certainly unexpected for sure.
And then after this game, how are you feeling about your division chances to win it?
Dude, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm looking at the Buffalo Bills schedule right now, and I'm not sure if Lando agrees with me, but I'm looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday. All right. They are obviously 0-2. You have Trevor Lawrence, who I've never been high on. I'm still convinced that he's a bust. He completed under 50% of his passes last week. There's still a lot of moving pieces. Their offensive line is terrible. So as long as the Bills can get over that hump of defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are typically a thorn in our side, I'm feeling really good. Ravens don't look too scary to me either. Have a very weak offensive line, and it's been being exposed by teams with lesser pass rushes than us. And then afterwards, we have the Houston Texans, which is going to be a challenge, and then obviously going into MetLife. But as long as this Buffalo Bills team, in my opinion, goes 2-2 within these next 4 games, it's just a cakewalk for the remainder of the season for at least the next 4, and then afterwards we finish off. But I'm feeling really good. Unfortunately, Rich, I think that this AFC East is now going to be between exclusively the Jets and the Bills, but I'm feeling really confident that we end up taking it home for the 5th year straight.
Yeah. And I think that the Bills are going to probably take it at this point. But I don't think that the Dolphins are completely out. I just don't think they have a good shot. I mean, realistically, in my eyes, it's to compete for a wild card. We are in the hunt as of now. I mean, we're 1-1. It's week 2. 2 is out for minimum 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We have our bye week 4 weeks from now. I think it's just competing with the Jets. I don't think the Jets are a very good team. They've shown that they can really fire on offense. I think their defense is a washed form of what it's been in the past couple of years.
It's true.
So I realistically think that if we can end up sweeping the Jets, sweeping the Patriots, and even if we lose to the Bills in Buffalo, which is going to probably be my prediction. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat them in Buffalo. We almost never do, especially in recent history. I think we have a really good shot. The thing is how long is Tua going to be out? And also, does Skylar Thompson start? That's my concern. I was high on Skylar, but with the recent progressions that he's had, he just hasn't progressed in the year 3 like he should be in a year 3 quarterback situation. I don't know if you saw signed Snoop Humphrey, Tyler Humphrey. I mean, I don't really know about that signing. I like it a lot. I think there's a lot of potential with Mike McDaniel, but it's like if there's so many question marks, it's hard for me to say. So
I look at this Dolphins team, and I look at a team that has a lot of speed. I mean, first off, with Achane, had a hell of a performance. I mean, he was y'all's offense, like on Thursday Night Football, right? And then you also look outside on the perimeter, okay, with Tyreek and then obviously Jalen Waddle. I think you signing Tyler Huntley was perhaps the best possible option. I think you're going with Skylar Thompson, who was serviceable that year when Tua ended up getting hurt prior to the playoffs, still ended up winning the games that he had to get into the playoffs against the Bills that year. But I'll tell you what, man, I look at the offensive line for the Miami Dolphins and say that I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm mad at Chris Greer for not investing in that appropriately, right? Because you can get past a bad offensive line if you have a quarterback that has the ability to be mobile outside of the pocket, run outside and extend. Because your receivers on the perimeter are so fast that they are eventually going to create separation. But the problem is that if you have a pocket passer who Tua truly is, there's only so much time that you can give them. I don't care if Tyreek runs a 4.3 or Waddle runs a 4.4. If you have a pocket passer that doesn't typically like to roll outside and give the receivers extra time to create that separation, it's going to be tough. So I honestly like the Huntley pick because he brings that dynamic right to the Miami Dolphins. And let's not forget, this dude was literally a fumbled football from the end zone to beating the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs a couple of years ago while he was with Baltimore. So I like it. I want to see how Skylar does, but I mean, I'm looking at y'all's schedule. You have the Seahawks, you have the Titans, you have the Pats, you have the Colts. Those are all very winnable games right there. Like, this is not a gauntlet by any stretch of the imagination. I saw Tua went on the IR, so he's officially out for at least 4 games right now this morning. But say, for example, y'all can go 2-2 in this stretch, which I think is super foreseeable. Yeah, most definitely. I feel like you guys would be okay.
Yeah. And I didn't want to hype it up too much, but the Tyler Huntley pickup really does excite me because if we can get him back to, I know this was a very, very weird Pro Bowl season, but he is a Pro Bowler. If we can get him back to maybe even a little higher than that with this offense, our scheme with Mike McDaniel, I mean, he's one of the smartest head coaches, offensive coordinators out there. I think with his speed, we can do some option. We can do a lot of stuff with Tyreek, Waddle, Achane, even Mostert and Jalen Wright. It looks like Mostert's on the downhill of his career, but I mean, he was 31 last year doing what he did, so you never know. Realistically, I think it's good, but as long as we have Tua back for Buffalo, I would feel more confident in that game. But when it comes to that, like, without Tua, I don't think we have a shot against Buffalo. I think Buffalo, the one year that we did face you guys in the playoffs and Skylar Thompson was there, he had the worst performance, and somehow we only lost by like 2 or 3. I think that was probably the best performance Skylar Thompson's going to do. I think that was his ceiling, which is a little unfortunate, but
I feel like what that front office needs to do, regardless of how the 2024 season ends, y'all need to hammer down on the offensive line. Like, y'all need to hammer down. Y'all need to be big spenders in free agency next year for offensive line help. First round, second round, perhaps. Need to build around. If you guys are locked in with Tua, like, he is your guy for the next, few years with his contract all said and done, the number one investment needs to be protecting that guy, because he's not going to become that mobile quarterback that can rush outside of the pocket. Like, that needs to be the ultimate investment for the Miami Dolphins if they want some consistent success.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before we get right back into the game, the thing that I'm thinking, and I'm looking at in the future, because after the game, it was a little hard for me to sleep, so I was looking into the offensive line. Teron Armstead is going to be gone after this year. He's probably going to retire. We have our franchise right tackle in Austin Jackson. I don't know if we're going to move him to left or right. I'm guessing we're going to keep him on the right. We have Liam Eichenberg, who has really made strides. I mean, even though he didn't do the best against Buffalo, he still had a high PFF, and he had a great game against the Jaguars week 1. The problem with it is our center and our left guard. So in my eyes, if Patrick Paul could come in after this year, or even now, I mean, he's better than Robert Jones. Put in that left guard, and we could actually get a center. Ideally, Connor Williams would have been nice, but Chris Greer didn't want to give him the $8 million that the Seahawks gave him. I mean, it's rough, but I don't know. That's going to be something that it's going to just we'll have to see what Greer does, because like in previous years we just don't go for the offensive line. We go for the trenches. The D line, our D line is usually one of the better D lines in the league. Last year we were second in sacks. The problem is our offensive line we never invest in. I don't understand it. That's what also I was talking with Doug. It was his exact thing. We need offensive line, and now look at what happened with Tua. He had to go up, and then Damar Hamlin of all people ended up getting him down.
Damar Hamlin, man. Holy hell, man. I'm glad that they're.
He had a great game.
So I'm glad that they're both okay. I sincerely am. You know what I mean? But like some of the memes were absolutely hysterical. I saw like something with Tua, like it said Tua took the football. He looked at Damar Hamlin and said, "It's me or you, bro." It's me or you, bro. I mean, listen, I'm glad that I saw him walk off of the field. Obviously, it's always good. Wish nothing but health for the guy. Still, so worried about the guy, but I mean, listen, he's got balls. He's sticking around. And that concussion history is certainly no joke, but let's just hope that he can really invest heavily into protecting himself when he does come back.
Yeah, for sure. Landon, what are your overall thoughts about the game and the Bills' future?
I mean, for us, it was a really good game. I mean, our secondary played way better than I ever expected them to that game. The D-line looked solid. Linebackers, I like the depth we have. I mean, Spector and Dorian Williams looked really good. Good two young backers to have. Offense, obviously, the pass game wasn't that active, but James Cook, I mean, he's not going anywhere. He's back again 2 years in a row. Good running back. That's first time in a while that we've had that. So, future-wise, I think we're set. I mean, we got a young receiving room. Still got Josh, young running backs. O-line is not as young, but and then on the defensive side of the ball, other than the corners, we got young guys. Because I don't really think Jamarcus Ingram is going to do anything in the future. But Benford's young, but the linebackers are super young. So I think the Bills got a really bright future, and hopefully we can keep this run going this year.
I saw somewhere that the Bills actually have like an average age of like 24 on offense. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. No. It's absolutely crazy, man. I mean, like we're going on ahead. First off, I think we can all agree that this year has been very strange as far as the 2024 NFL season. If y'all look at the top 5 quarterbacks right now in this league for QBR, number 1 goes to Derek Carr. Number 2 goes to Kyler Murray. 3 is Josh Allen. 4 is Geno Smith. And 5 is Sam Darnold. All right. No one is anticipating any of this. And you look across the league too, and the average pass yards per game for 2 weeks has been 194 pass yards. We haven't seen numbers that low since 1990. Like this is 1980s football. And it's funny because vast majority of this NFL season for the past 10 seasons has been the air raid era, right? So now you have to ask yourself, is this returning back to the old school smash mouth, ground and pound sort of football? Are the defenses catching up? It's certainly suggesting it. Like you're seeing Josh Allen throw for 150 yards. You're seeing Justin Herbert throw for 140 yards. Same thing with Pat Mahomes. Same thing with Joe Burrow. It's funny how this league is working out. And no one expected the Saints and the Cardinals to be the most efficient offenses in football, through 2 weeks. Not a soul.
No, not at all. I mean, the Saints, dude. The Saints kicked the Cowboys' ass. Like
they did.
It was intense.
Dude.
I will say, though, the Cowboys were in it. Even down 21 points, their offense was still firing at, like, a high level. I think the Cowboys I want to say that they're going to be a good team this year, but also they're never a good team.
So the Cowboys are known for choking in the playoffs, but then also known for losing like 2 or 3 head-scratching games. And I'm not trying to take that away from the Saints because first week I was like, okay, it's the Carolina Panthers. Like, come on. But second, like what makes the Saints most impressive is the fact that they did it against the Cowboys defense, right? Yeah. Which still generates pass rush, has great corners on the offside. So far, man, this has definitely been a weird first 2 weeks of the NFL season, but I'm here for it. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a great switch. I'd love to see running backs get used more. I think the way that the NFL was going 2 years ago, where they were phasing out the running back position, I mean, it got to a point where running backs were like holding out. I think Saquon got a 1-year, $9 million contract, for the Giants. The Giants wanted to repay him. Dude, I don't know. As a running back myself, not ideal.
Oh, you're a running back.
Oh yeah.
My man.
This year I am.
Made it out of the
man, dude. All right, man. We'll definitely stay in touch for when you go D1, right?
Oh yeah, I'm hoping.
How much rushing yards you got right now? Just wondering.
Hey, listen, how pissed off would you be if it rolls down into it and like you're drafted like 13th overall to the Buffalo Bills?
All right.
What if that happens, man?
Not that mad. I'm staying home. So
yeah, he doesn't have to leave.
True. It's kind of nice.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind it. I'm not a Buffalo Bills hater. I can't be because I live in Buffalo. That's the thing. I want to hate them so much, but the problem is I can't.
Yeah.
So I just don't like them. But
so we always joke around with TD because his son, I believe, is a freshman or a sophomore in high school right now, and he's a really good defensive end and wide receiver. And like we always just completely crack on him on the show. We're just like, bro, Tony Dow Jr., 18th overall to the Buffalo Bills, 2037 draft, baby. You just wait for it. And you just see his skin crawl immediately. Oh. We love messing with the guy about that.
TD would hate that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's absolutely there's no way, man. He
Which is a better defensive end than running back.
Yeah, most definitely. But, dude, that's awesome, man. Best of luck. How's the season going so far? I'm supposed to have practice.
Great. Landon got guard. He's D-end. I'm D-end running back. We're 2-0, and we're facing one of the top teams in our division. It's us and them.
So varsity right now?
Yeah.
Dude, what school again?
Iroquois. They game this Thursday.
Let's go.
Yeah, hey, man, send me your highlights, bro.
Oh, all right, I got you. I'll send them.
Send me the highlights, bro. Listen, I'll get hype on that.
I'll send them over.
Yeah, man. You know?
All right, so this is a question that I want both of you to answer as Buffalo Bills fans. What do you think the future of the Miami Dolphins should be?
Okay, you're gonna not like me for this.
You're gonna say something about Tua leaving, aren't you?
All right, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm saying right now. This year for the Miami Dolphins, okay, what I think that they should do is that they should just have business as usual. Okay, business as usual. All right, see what you can do with Tyler Huntley. See what you can do with Skylar Thompson. Next season, what you end up doing. All right, hammer down on the offensive line, free agency. But this is a season where you absolutely just tank, 110%. Go on ahead, walk away from Ty. Hear me out. It gets better. It gets better. All right, it gets better. Offensive line, get that in. See what Tua does. All right. If, for example, he shocks the world, then whatever. End up making some further investments after the fact. But the reason I'm telling you to tank is just because I want you guys to get Arch Manning from Texas. That's what I think you do. That's what I think you do. I don't want it to happen, but say that I'm the front office. This is what I'm doing. I'm just having business as usual. I'm doing what I can to hopefully make the playoffs next year. Offensive line, heavy investments, tank next season. Truly tank. All right. Don't go out ahead and be like, all right, listen, you want the first overall pick. And then with that first overall pick in 2026, you're inviting Arch Manning over to the Miami Dolphins. That's what I think you should do. But
so are you saying that Arch Manning is going to be in the draft this year?
No, I don't think so, man. I mean, he just ended up getting out on the field last week because Quinn Ewers got it. Yeah, dude, stud, man. Absolutely. especially with his rushing touchdown, I was just like, bro, this dude is not related to the Mannings. But then he like dropped back and he was throwing dimes. I was like, wait a minute, he might be. I think Arch Manning's about to be sick.
Yeah.
Like once he ends up getting in here. So, but is what it is. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, so there's a part of me that wants the Dolphins to be good just because I have a lot of friends that are Dolphins fans, but it just sucks that they're in the AFC East. But I don't know, man. I mean, we'll see how Tua plays when he gets back from his injury, but after the fact, I think you guys are going to have a really good understanding of where he stands as a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Just going up against those teams in the cold weather, seeing how he like goes through with it. But yeah, most definitely. You heard it here first. This year, business as usual. This offseason, fire Chris Greer, invest in the offensive line, tank away, get as many picks as you possibly can. Following draft year, Arch Manning, baby.
You know, that sounds appetizing, but
yeah, you're like, bro, listen, I'm trying to see success now, all right?
It's not really what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I think if we did end up tanking, my guy's Cam Ward. That's my guy. I want Cam Ward bad. Keep him in Miami. I mean, everything he's shown that he can be a Heisman. I mean, he's a candidate for sure. That's the guy that I'm a really big fan of. But obviously, I don't think we're going to tank.
Yeah, man. Most definitely. I'm not too high on the quarterback class this year coming out of college football. I'm really not. I like Carson Beck right out of UGA. Not a big fan of Drew Aller out of Penn State. I suppose with Cam Ward, he is solid, but next quarterback's class is going to be sick.
What do you think about Shador and Quinn Ewers?
What about Kyle McCord?
Okay, I'll tell you what. So Quinn Ewers, man. So there was this big narrative that both of the Texas wide receivers couldn't catch for shit, right? Like they just like had dropping issues in college. And a lot of it has to do with his ball placement, right? Like he throws hospital balls on the regular. He's not that accurate. I don't think that he's really going to be a solid like NFL QB. Shador Sanders is interesting. I think he's a little undersized, but that doesn't mean that he can't end up putting a little bit more weight on at the end of the day. I think he's selfish. I mean, especially when it comes down into the fact that he's the most sacked quarterback in all of college football by itself. And it's not because his offensive line is bad. It's because he doesn't want to add any incomplete passes to his numbers. So super high on Travis Hunter, though. Like he's going to be a dog in the NFL.
I think he's the number one overall pick. He has to be the number one overall pick.
Has to be. I mean, like, I'm not sure if he'll play both ways in the NFL, but if that's the case, I honestly think he's a better corner than he is a wide receiver. Surprisingly enough, he's locked down at corner.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that said he's compared to Sauce Gardner and Justin Jefferson. Like, if you're compared to both of the best players in the league,
both sides of the ball, give me a break.
That's crazy. So, Landon, what do you think the future of the Dolphins should be this year, and actually next year too?
I mean, just build that offensive line. Like, that offensive line is not good.
Yeah.
I mean, who's your center? Brewer?
Brewer.
The guy from the Titans, right?
Yeah, he had a 69 PFF, and we brought him in to replace Connor Williams, the best center, before he got hurt.
Yeah, you build your offensive line through free agency, through the draft, and hopefully that can protect Tua because you got all the pieces right now. You got the wide receivers, you got the running backs, you got the corners, safeties, all that, the coaching, but you don't have the line.
Yeah. And so really to add to that as well, like I talked to TD about this and like I say, you know, like when you end up signing a quarterback, like you need to like look into the future and ask yourself like, okay, like I have all of this star-studded talent surrounding him right now. But once he ends up getting an actual true deal, I'm not going to be able to afford to have the Jalen Waddles and the H-Ns and the Tyreek Hills and all of these bells and whistles on the side. Do you trust him to be able to win without like one or two of those weapons and like have like an offensive output like Josh Allen, right?
Are you talking about Tua?
Yeah, I'm talking about Tua. Like, how would you trust Tua like for the Miami Dolphins if, say, for example, you were to give him the Buffalo Bills wide receiving core, still Mike McDaniel, but he has the Buffalo Bills wide receiver core? Would you have the same amount of confidence that you have in him right now, or?
Okay, so I've always been a Tua guy. I think he was the most polarizing player in college before his injury. He was that scrambling archetype. He was like that type of player, and then obviously that ruined his mobility. Getting thrusted in week 6 with like his hips still bothering him, with a coach that didn't support him at all, told him that he sucked every day.
Yeah,
he went out and faced one of the best defenses in the league, the Rams, 2020, and he ended up winning the game. Then the next week, he went up and faced Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. And if you don't remember that year, they ended up going to the playoffs and facing the Rams in the wild card. They were legit that year, Kyler Murray, and he ended up winning that game. He went what'd you say?
That was the wrong year for the Cardinals.
Oh, wrong year. Either way, I know the Cardinals were like a legit team that
year.
Yeah,
they went 9 or no, they went 9-6, I think.
Yeah, they were a very 9-6.
I can't think of the record. I don't know why. 9-7 is it?
Either way, I remember that they at the time it was like week 7. They were like 5-2. They were a very good team at the time, and he went out and beat them. He went toe to toe with Mahomes their first time out. I think he can beat the good teams. I just think it hasn't happened as of recent, which really made a narrative that I think is a very negative narrative on his part. I trust Tua to win the games with a Keon Coleman and a Curtis Samuel, like everyone that the Bills have, the core. Obviously, I think Tyreek and Waddle helped them out a lot because, I mean, if you look at Josh Allen's success when Diggs and Beasley came in year 3, happened.
It's true.
You need weapons to build your quarterback. I think it's just hard now. I mean, if the Dolphins had the Bills line and the Bills core, I think it would be around the same success. I think just different as of now.
So I feel like that conversation always has to turn back right to the trenches because like offensive line is so crazy. And I mean, really all offseason, like so many people were nervous about the Buffalo Bills weapons, etc. And I kept trying to tell people, I'm saying, dude, if our offensive line is top 5 like it was last year, it wouldn't matter if all 3 of us were wide receiver 1, 2, and 3. They were going to figure it out. And I mean, listen, I love to joke around about Stephon Diggs being gone. Like this Thursday, I was super hype on social media, being like, how many targets Stephon Diggs have, bro? Tell me. But it really all comes down into what he was able to give Josh Allen as far as development. He was the training wheels for Josh Allen, in my opinion. Him, Cole Beasley, etc. And now you're seeing the final product where he's taken that next step, and now he's able to elevate the receivers around him, which is something you want to see from your quarterback, especially in year 7, year 8.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think Josh Allen is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and the Bills need to get a ring out of him like before he ends his career. I think
for the love of God, please.
They need to get a ring out of him because if you go Josh Allen's whole career without a ring, he's going to have the same narrative that Dan Marino has. And as a Dolphins fan, it's not a good narrative. People don't even have him in the top 5 just because he doesn't.
Yeah. Well, dude, you want to know what's my worst nightmare? My worst nightmare is that Josh Allen plays for us for another 5 or 6 years. And like maybe we make it to a Super Bowl and we lose one or we drop one in the AFC Championship. My worst nightmare is that we trade him or we don't re-sign him and he goes over to some other team and that very next year he wins the Super Bowl.
I don't
like a Stafford.
If Josh Allen pulls a Stafford, bro, that dude, I would rather him go ringless than him leaving the Buffalo Bills in the last 3 years of his career. He wins a Super Bowl like with like the Cardinals or something like that. I would, dude, I would be punching air. I have no idea how Lions fans didn't do that when Stafford did it the following year. Crazy.
That's like literally the year they traded him too.
Yeah, no, dude.
That's someone to root for in the Super Bowl, then.
Yeah, man, most definitely. I mean, let's hope that's not the case.
So I hope Lowski's still in here.
He is. What's up, Lowski?
Yeah, I hope he's still in here because this is in my notes. It says, "Are the Jets ass?" ?
Yes, they are. They are ass. Lowski. I know you're back in here.
I think they're ass.
Do you? All right.
I think their defense is good, but their offense with Aaron Rodgers has not been clicking.
Their defense doesn't even look that good.
Surprisingly enough, and then first off, guys, everyone in here watching the pre-recorded or live, do me a favor and subscribe to the boys, man.
Oh, yeah.
They do a great show, all right? And they do a great show, and I'll be a recurring guest on
Thank you so much.
The Buffalo Bills end up playing. So subscribe, show some love to my boys over here, and they do a great job. Funny enough, the Jets offense is actually outperforming the Jets defense, surprisingly enough, right? And that's probably the biggest shock that I've seen from the Jets. Like, they're 26th in EPA right now. Meaning when it comes into expected points on value, like this defense has just been not doing too good. Last week, we gave Sauce Gardner his worst performance as a professional, was getting caught up on holdings, was getting absolutely cooked by Calvin Ridley, which is absolutely hysterical. And their pass rush just isn't getting to it, right? Like their pass rush is not winning. And the Tennessee Titans offensive line was among one of the worst in the NFL last year. They made a couple of moves this offseason, folks, but they didn't go on ahead and take leaps and bounds. They're having a really hard time generating pass rush. And with Jermaine Johnson being gone, with Hassan Reddick still like at Disney World or something, refusing to play for them, I think that's kind of where they're at. I would be timid to say that I think that this trend is going to continue for the remainder of the season. I think that would kind of be, I don't know, risky, and that take would bite me in the ass moving forward. I think they figure it out, but they just started off like bad. And then plus, like when it comes into Aaron Rodgers, like, yeah, man, most definitely. I mean, I'm not blind. I totally see an old man out there having a hard time being able to move around the pocket, be mobile. But his guys are getting open for the most part, and they did end up going up against the San Francisco 49ers defense, which is obviously probably the best in the league. And then they went up against the Tennessee Titans defense, which, in my opinion, slept on, dude. Like, they held Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears to not a single touchdown, all right, all of week one, although the Bears ended up winning. And they still have L'Jarius Sneed. They still have Awuzie. They have Jeffrey Simmons. Solid defensive core. That running back room is what scares me, man. With Braylon Allen, and then same exact thing with Breece Hall. I think that they live and die by them, and they better hope that they stay healthy, like on all ends of that. But do I think they're ass? Maybe now. But do I think that they're dead in the water? Absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a lot of season left. They could go 0-4 and 1-4, 2-4. They could still make a huge comeback. I mean, Houston did it. Houston went 0-4 and then they made the playoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm looking at their schedule right now, and they really don't have a gauntlet. So, which is interesting, right? So they have 2 easy games and then 2 hard games, 1 easy, 1 hard. So they have the Patriots on Thursday, which surprisingly enough, I think that this Pats team is going to keep it close because that's just how this AFC East is. Like, the Pats historically own the Jets. For some reason, the Jets just forget how to play football when they play the New England Patriots. So I think this game is going to be close, but I have them winning that one. And then they have Bo Nix's bum ass out there with the Denver Broncos right afterwards. You have the Vikings, Sam Darnold, who's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And then the Bills, then the Steelers, then the Pats. So, I mean, it's not like they have a 4-stretch game of absolute juggernauts, moving forward with it. So I hate to see that. I hate to say this, but I could 1,010% see them winning in this next 6-game stretch. I could 1,000% see this team and to go in 5-1. I could. I hope not.
It's definitely possible. If Aaron Rodgers is a sliver of what he's done. I mean, I've been on record of saying it, but more Landon, what are your thoughts? Because you said that you think the Jets are not a very good team the whole offseason, every podcast.
And I'm going to say the same thing.
He's a D1 Jets hater. I appreciate it.
My tweet from Sunday, I still stand by that. The Jets are not a good football team. I don't think they're good. I think that they're not coached well. Their O-line is good. I'll give them that. They have a good O-line. I don't think Rodgers is going to be good. Their defense has not looked good. I mean, like you said, Sauce had an awful game the other day. I don't even know who they're running back there at safety. Their D-line has been insanely underwhelming. I mean, I don't know about – last week I know McDonald had 3 sacks, but like you said, the Titans O-line ain't nothing spectacular. Who was he on? Nicholas Petit-Frere?
Yeah.
And it's Will Levis, number one. Will Levis having some growing pains right now. But I don't know. There's something I just don't like the Jets, and that Sam Darnold revenge game and wherever that is, that's going to feed fans. Sam Darnold's going for 500 yards.
I hope so. I'm a big Sam Darnold guy.
500 yards, 5 touchdowns for Sam Darnold.
That's ideal. I mean, realistically, the Jets.
I'm a Jets hater.
It's a Robert Saleh thing. I mean, they have all the talent in the world. It's just you don't have a good coach.
No, man. I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. He has had seasons over seasons of insurance policies, right? Last year, obviously, he lost out on Aaron Rodgers, and that was his insurance policy, right? And then afterwards, it was, oh, don't worry. Now we have Aaron Rodgers. Then he gets hurt, so he bought himself one more year. If this dude chokes and doesn't make the playoffs this year, if the Jets don't kick him to the curb, I don't know what they're doing. The only person that would be able to save them would be Aaron Rodgers, being like, no, one more year with the guy. But like, I mean, I haven't been impressed by anything. That's the biggest weakness for the New York Jets. On paper, this team should be dominating. Yeah. This team should be dominating this year. No excuses. Like, go 14-3. If they had an offensive-minded head coach, then I think things might be a little bit different. But if Jets fans end the season with disappointment, there is only one way to point the finger. It's at Robert Saleh and that absolute hack, Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Nathaniel Hackett, man, he is not a good OC. I don't know. I have no idea why they signed. Was it just for Rodgers? That dude is like.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. Listen, he rode the coattails of Aaron Rodgers when he was over in Green Bay, right? So many QBs make an offensive coordinator look great. And unfortunately, the Jets have just had both of them as a head coach. It was Adam Gase, where Peyton Manning made him look like an absolute stud, but in reality, he was a bum. Same thing with Hackett. And I mean, I remember Jets fans going out and trying to last offseason. So we're trying to protect Nathaniel Hackett because Sean Payton went out and he said, yeah, this dude was a bum. He had no idea what the hell he was talking about, but he was right. Sean Payton was correct. Nathaniel Hackett is just the dude that has a ceremonial position as offensive coordinator because you know that Aaron Rodgers is out there calling the plays in the first place. It's how it is, man. Yeah. So I hope for the best for the Jets and their coaching staff woes, but we'll see.
I mean, I almost want to go as far to say that Gerard Mayo might be better than Robert Saleh already. I mean, just from him benching Drake May and keeping him out the first year, I kind of want to say that Mayo is better than him.
I mean, listen, watch out for Mayo, dude. Listen, I mean, that Patriots team has been very annoying. They are still very annoying. Once they traded away Matthew Judon, I was just like, there's no way that they're going to be able to stop pass rush. This team held the Seahawks like 40 yards on the ground. Hence why I'm saying this game on Thursday is going to be a hell of a lot closer than people want to give it credit for.
Yeah.
I literally see this Pats defense being able to completely bottle up Breece Hall and Braylon Allen on Thursday night. It's going to have to be Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, but you have a Christian Gonzalez who is one of the most slept on corners in the league by itself. So, dude, I mean, don't be surprised if this is like 21-20 Jets or 21-20 Patriots on Thursday night. I don't like the matchups at all. Like all across the board.
I hope to see the Jets have a loss.
My boy Landon hates the Jets. I love it, man. Listen, we all like have a team that we absolutely hate. I love it.
I mean, I almost want to say like a 9-15 is very possible. I don't think it's going to be more than 20 points. These defenses are going to really buckle it down.
Yeah, no. I mean, dude, so many teams out there barely cracking 20. I mean, with the Steelers on top of the AFC North, I really don't think anybody expected the Ravens and the Bengals to be 0-2 going into the season, with the Pittsburgh Steelers with only Justin Fields throwing a single passing touchdown and not scoring more than 20 points week 1 and week 2, sitting at the top. It's been a defensive league, and the unders have been hitting like crazy right now. So we'll see if this trend continues, but it's all about them defenses in the run game this year, boys. That's all it is.
Yep. And Fields just got announced as the starter for week 3 too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Fields is going to be starting week 3. I'm pretty sure Russell Wilson is good to go though, but I think they're just resting him for another week. So, I mean,
the offense ain't going to get better with them.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see what happens with that.
The Dolphins pick up the phone, bro.
I mean, I would love Fields.
Danger Russ.
Oh, generational run. Oh, Russ. Oh, no.
Hell no.
Keep Russ. They can keep Russ. I want Fields.
Yeah.
I don't think they're giving you Fields.
No,
Danger
Fields.
Russ, baby. Damn.
So, speaking of Dolphins quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa, how many concussions does he need? Like, additional to this, 4. He has 5 head injuries, 4 concussions. How many more does he need for the league to step in?
I mean, dude, I feel like they should have stepped in already. And to be completely honest with you, I have all the respect in the world for this guy for still having the balls to go out there and say, I still want to play football. I still feel like that I have enough on the table. And I know his heart's in the right place too, because all they needed was a doctor to say that you should no longer play football. And then all of his guarantees still would have hit his bank account. So that speaks volumes of his character. It really does. But I mean, dude, it's dangerous. I mean, it's tough when it comes into CTE because you really can't even check for CTE unless somebody actually passes away. That's when you can check to see if it happens. There's no way to test for it. I mean, dude, say that I'm the commissioner. If there's one more within like another year or something along those lines, 1,010%. Like, we have to hope that this dude stays completely healthy, like no head injuries for the next 2 right before the league just like has to turn their head after the fact. It's one more for me, man. This is really serious. He's playing with fire. He really is.
Yeah. What about you, Landon? What do you think?
I mean, one more. I agree with what he's saying. One more, and it becomes a huge problem, not for like, obviously for Tua's health too, but for at the NFL standpoint, like for them as a business, and if they're letting him keep doing this to his body, they're not going to look as good either. Yeah. So if he gets one more, like he said, like soon, if it's in like 5 years, he gets one more, I think he should be okay. But if he gets one more, say this year or early next year, you got to pull the plug on him and tell him he has to be done.
Oh, pull the plug. That's a narrative.
Yeah. We're not going to be pulling the plug here, boys.
Okay.
All right.
One choice of words.
Landon, chill. Realistically, it's a time thing. I think if he gets another one after this season, he might be fine. What I've seen is since he went over a year, like last year, he played every single game, no injuries. He went over a year without having a concussion. I guess from what I've seen and heard from videos, because like this scared the shit out of me. I guess like the clock time kind of like went back. So if it happens a year from now, 2 years from now, I think he will be fine. He's going to have a lot of medical examinations. But if it happens this season or the beginning of next season, and especially if we see his arm do the thing that the twitches, that
fencing
for his health, he needs to. I mean, he has a family, a wife. He already has kids. I think he needs to step down at that point. But mad respect to him for staying in. He's already one of my favorite players of all time just because of what he's
got
done.
Stones, man. Got Stones for doing that.
It's awesome. I can't believe that he's still playing because he literally could have just gotten $130 million check.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to do anything else.
Absolutely.
A lot of respect to him. He's a real captain for sure. I guess they said that he was in good spirits in the locker room, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going into playoff time, if someone knocks off the Chiefs, do you think the Bills go to the Super Bowl?
If we knock off the Chiefs, or if somebody else knocks off the Chiefs?
If someone else knocks off the Chiefs.
That would be ideal. And to be completely honest with you, man, I mean, I'm not worried about a regular season matchup. Number one, it's at home. Number two, we've won the last 3 straight in the regular season. We just have the answers for that team. But for some reason, the Kansas City Chiefs just always end up stepping up in the playoffs, and they have our number. It's so frustrating. Dude, this sounds like a cop-out, but, I mean, I've seen 3 different instances where the Chiefs hand it to us in the playoffs in a close game. I don't know if my heart can take it again, man. Listen, so I would absolutely love if the Houston Texans can go on ahead and take care of them in like the first round or something. And the Buffalo Bills finally get the first seed. That would be ideal. Somebody takes care right of the Chiefs by itself. Maybe even the Jets. I don't care who does it, but somebody shock the world, send the Chiefs home, and I'm confident that the Bills can take care of everybody else. I really am. Yeah. If we can get past the Chiefs, I mean, dude, I'm going to say this, man. And like I've said it several times, and I'm going to die on this hill. That 13 seconds game, if, for example, we were to stop them in 13 seconds, I guarantee you that the Bills would have won the Super Bowl that year. I just
say that all the time.
I know that they would have, and I would even argue that we would have beaten the Rams if we were to beat them in the AFC Championship. If we were to beat the Chiefs in that AFC Championship game, and especially after 13 seconds, we would have had 2 rings right now. I can almost guarantee you. Man, it's breaking my heart just thinking about it. But yes, get the Chiefs out of our way, and I think nothing's stopping this Buffalo Bills team from making the Super Bowl.
Wait, so you think that in 2020, if we beat the Chiefs in the championship, we beat Tampa Bay? Is that what you're saying? Or
yes, I do.
Interesting. I disagree with that. I don't think our team would have beat Tom Brady. I think we would have beat the Rams. But
I feel like it would have been the greatest story ever told.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. We would have beat the Rams that year, definitely against that. I mean, maybe that's a reach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but
I'm
homer every now and again. You know what I mean?
We were a younger team. Josh was coming out. It was his breakout year.
Yeah.
And it would have been heartbreaking to lose a Super Bowl to Tom Brady. Oh.
I'll be honest with you. Maybe he saved us. Like maybe Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would have been
maybe he saved us from like having the ultimate disappointment by like, oh yeah, first year without Brady. It's the Bills division. Here he is, Super Bowl 0-5. Deal with it. You know? Yeah. That would have sucked.
The Bills, if they go to the Super Bowl, they have to win. I mean, you can't be the only team 0-5.
Yeah, dude.
The Vikings are 0-4, but
yeah, it's not back to back to back to back.
No,
for the Vikings. So it's not as embarrassing, if you will. But yeah, most definitely. Man. The day that we make it, we have to win. There's no like ifs, ands, or buts about that for sure.
Realistically, I don't know any NFC quarterback that's beating Josh Allen. I mean, and that's the thing is why Patrick Mahomes is having such a freak run he's doing right now is I don't think any NFC quarterback is at the same level as Allen and Mahomes. I think they're at the level for sure. Like them and then everyone else.
Yeah. And so I really don't trust Brock Purdy, man. I mean, we saw how he played against the Vikings this past week when McCaffrey was out of the game and when Deebo Samuel left with an injury. That's the Brock Purdy. That's the real Brock Purdy. Is when you don't have all of those shiny toys around him, weapons-wise, etc. Not Jalen Hurts. I'm not scared of Jalen Hurts. I'm not scared of Matthew Stafford, especially since he lost out on Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. I'm not even sure that now they're going to make the playoffs. Don't sleep on Kyler, though.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely don't sleep on Kyler Murray. I mean, dude's been playing really good ball. And I mean, outside of his injuries, when he is out there, I don't know. I mean, maybe Kyler Murray has something to say about being the best quarterback in the NFC this year. We're going to have to see. It's too early.
Yeah.
Baker's my sleeper.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, man. I got to stop disrespecting Baker. Absolutely. He's been being dangerous.
Dog, dude.
Yeah.
I love Baker.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Well, Dan, I really appreciate you coming on. We always love having you on. It was one of the best performing podcasts the last time, so I'm sure it's going to be even better this time.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's always great having you on, and we really appreciate you. Even though my team lost, love talking the game with you. It was great.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Guys, everybody that's watching the pre-record or still in here live, do me a favor, subscribe to the boys over here. They go live all the time with their podcast, Talk Ball, all across the league. They have great guests on as well. Show them some love. Show them some love.
Let's go, guys. Subscribe, please. Hey, at 500 subscribers, me and Landon, we're going to be doing something really special. We're only 55 away right now. So
pump these dudes up, y'all. We better get these guys over 500 by the end of the year.
Be prepared. And we're also live streaming. Bills Dolphins might be on the field, but if not, we have good tickets. So
shout out, boys.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, VJC, let's go. You guys have a great time. Let's subscribe. That's our boy. Let's go. All right, everyone. Turf Talk and Dan Mitchell are out. Everyone go subscribe to them if you haven't subscribed to Dan Mitchell, which I'm sure everyone in here has. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.